Duality. I think you guys know what I'm trying to say with this one, huh? Duality. I actually painted this in two pieces. I didn't make a stencil. I didn't make a drawing under it. I let the wax, you understand now how I use wax and how I use the heat gun to push the wax where I want it to go. So I did one part, and then I looked at it, and I said, okay, I'm going to try my best to recreate it opposite. And I know where I didn't recreate it, it was starting to have a conversation with me.
Yes.
It was, I have twins, I have twin daughters, and one is right-handed, one is left-handed. And it was almost as if a part of them was talking to me as I was doing this. I would put this together here, and it's like, I don't want to be there, I want to be different than her. So, okay. And it would go on and on. So I had to turn it upside down, so I can get another look at it to try. And so it's sort of like, and this happens as an artist, I don't know how many of you paint, but somehow your right eye and your left eye do different things when you're actually painting, when you're actually creating something. So if you turn the thing over and around, then it crisscrosses. So when I painted it just like this first, this side was like, it had a personality. And I wanted the same personality to be on this side, but opposite, and it did. It did make it opposite. But for me to make it, it was like yin-yang. I didn't want yin-yang though. I didn't want yin-yang, I wanted duality. Yin-yang is harmonious. Duality isn't necessarily harmonious. So I had to turn it and flip it, and that's how I was able to do it the other way. So just as an artist and creating the work, you find out a lot about not just yourself, but how things are around you. And this one, I never made a frame like this, so it was my first time doing it, and I just actually wanted this to come out more, and he would say, no, don't make it go so far out. He said, it's too much. I said, okay. So I put it back a little bit, but this is not a piece of wood like this one is a piece of wood on the wood. I just made this circle, and then I painted around it. So you feel it, you feel what duality is. When I was growing up in math, I loved math, but I hated math because I thought it was a lie. I said, how could 1 plus 1 equal 2? That doesn't make sense to me. If 1 is 1, there could never possibly be another one to add to it, so 2 doesn't make sense. Wow. And it was only until I got to undergrad, my first year, and I just kept, the professor finally said, okay, this is the deal. It's the whole cut in half. So that's where we get 2. I said, oh, why didn't I say that in the first place? There is 2. Now I understand 2. Because I said, because if you believe in 1, how can you have another one to add to it? It didn't make sense. As a kid, I'm thinking, so anyway, so this is my rendition of it. Half and half. So, but we also know duality. We heard about duality today, the good, the bad, left hand, right hand. So there are all kinds of duality. The wave and the particle. You know wave and particle, right? Okay. Next is certainty of equivocation. When I did this piece, I'm very meticulous with the math, so I made sure everything was a certain count the same in that way. And to my surprise, it created this line, straight line going down. I didn't even realize that. It's like, wow, that's a cool line. So, but still, again, as I mentioned, when I do the work, I make the titles first. So that I wouldn't stray from what I'm trying to do in the artwork. some people, they, come up with the title after, but if I did that with my mind is racing all over, I would never finish. And I keep changing it. So, certainty of equivocation, this is going one way, this is going another way. So this is the equivocation where you can't decide what you want to do. There are times when you just don't know what job to take. Should I take this job? Should I take that job? Should I move to this town? Should I stay here? What should I do? What should I do? And you're crazy, right? So that's why I put there is a certainty even there. And the certainty is you, the one who are equivocating. You are the certainty. So no matter what you do, it's going to be okay because you're with yourself. Yes?
In that one, what do you call that one?
This one? Certainty of equivocation.
There's also a duality in that one. Or I call it symmetry. If you consider a pinpoint in the center of that vertical dark line, and then you rotate the whole thing 180 degrees, you get the same picture. Exactly the same picture.
Yeah. I'm glad you picked that up. This center here represents the certainty because it's holding the whole thing together. So as your viewers, you can look and interpret and see and learn for yourself what it means to you, that certainty. It could be this line, it could be in between, it could be that line, whatever it is for you, but there is certainty in it. So even in ugliness, we heard today about the ugliness that happened in Japan, but even in that terrible stuff, there was the beautiful stuff. Same thing, certainty and equivocation, beauty and ugliness. So those dualities, they exist on one level, but in another level they don't. So as an artist, when I paint, I can't just paint because it looks pretty. I want it to look pretty, but I want it also to mean something, really mean something, so you can talk about it with your friends, talk about it. In this little one, E equals TC squared. We live in a three-dimensional world, which physics calls three-space. But there is also space-time, or four-space, or the fourth dimension. This amazing new knowledge is that time itself is actually compressed energy, and is compressed by exactly the same factor by which matter is considered compressed energy, the speed of light squared. So the famous EMC squared now has no longer secret sister, E equals TC squared, where T is actually delta T, or change in time. I got this quote from the conservative voice, Brave New World. Another reason why I love energy so much is because I use that also for healing. So for those of you who know me, I do have health issues that I use healing, energy healing for. And it's that led me to all these kinds of Rupert Sheldrake and the Emoto, everybody. So everything has a purpose. The Angel series, I grew up with a Pentecostal pastor, Vera Reid, she's passed on now. And she had this beautiful painting, picture over her bed, and it was of an angel watching over children crossing a bridge. How many have you seen that before? It's iconic almost, right? Yeah. And so many times when I feel terrible and I just feel like lost, I just call the angels, please just come and be with me. And immediately I find relief. Immediately. It never fails, because I believe that they're really there and I can just see their wings coming around. And if I can't sleep, I go to sleep. So I decided to make a whole series of angel paintings, and this is one of them. The Angel of Freedom, Guardian of Dreams. And this one did have a painting underneath, not a painting, sorry, a drawing. And it's a drawing of a woman in a boat, fast asleep, but she's on this torrential water, and the angel is just praying over her like this. But what was important to me were the wings. For some reason, when I think of angels, I think of these arched wings, these huge wings, and so that's what stayed, the wings and the danger. Some people don't see wings, they see like a cavern bird, and that's okay. It's okay, because it's brown. But I love brown. I love brown and blue. So this is my artwork. This is the discussion. This is where my art comes from. I would sit and think. I've thought about this work for months and months and months and months. And the easiest part is in finally painting it. But it's the thought, thinking through what it is I want to say and how best to actually convey it. So in a way that people can have it in their home or their office and enjoy it, or just look at it and just be reminded of whatever the title is that we